Welcome to today's video of Madelon Talks. My name is Madelon Vos and today we'll discuss the most important crypto and macroeconomic related news of the week. We will keep it quite short this time, but we will dive deeper into the Turkish exchange that closed last week. Where are the coins right now and what happened on that exchange? We will dive deeper into the alt season. And we're gonna take a look at SafeMoon, even though I don't really want to know. But I've been asked a lot of times, Madelon, what's going on with SafeMoon? And I must explain what's happening right now. We will also dive deeper into exclusive material around the CPI index, your purchasing power, and about how fast it's going down, even though Jay Powell in the speech says it won't. We will dive deeper into that and we will leave some charts. For example, the BTC chart. We will take a look at the dollar rate. We will take a look at silver as well. And I will keep that to the end of the video. But first we're going to start with making myself a little bit smaller. And I must say, I'm completely overwhelmed by all of the views and the subscribers we've had on this channel. It's completely insane and I'm completely blessed by how many of you like these videos, and yeah, I never expected this to happen. So thank you so much, and if you like this channel, please don't forget to press the blue thumb and subscribe to the channel. Okay, we're going to dive deeper into the first thing I would like you to know about. And this is about the great debate of the century. And Michael Saylor and Frank Gschera had a debate about Bitcoin versus gold. And it's hosted by the fabulous Daniela Gambon, and she is great when doing interviews, and especially in this debate, she asked the questions she had to. Okay, what's this debate about and why should you watch it? I'm going to make a small summary. Michael Saylor is completely pro Bitcoin, and on the other hand, we have Frank Gschera, who is completely pro gold, and they both have the arguments about their own vision, and it really makes you think about why you make the decision to own gold in your portfolio, to own Bitcoin in your portfolio, or to own both. So it's really, really important to know what they have for arguments. And the end conclusion is Michael Saylor will never buy gold. He will only buy more Bitcoin. And Frank Gschera is saying, no, if there comes a dip, I will probably buy more Bitcoin. The only thing, in my opinion, and I heard Willem Middelkoop talk about this today on their annual meeting from their fund, he said something really interesting, and that's that central banks are not buying Bitcoin yet. So that's the only difference with Bitcoin versus, there are a lot of more arguments though, but still, Bitcoin is quite young and central banks haven't put Bitcoin on their investment plans yet, but maybe they will in the near future. But that's quite a big difference. And for me, in my portfolio, I own a bit of gold, a bit of silver, and a lot of Bitcoin as well. But in my opinion, it's good to diversify a bit. I have been fully exposed to Bitcoin for quite a long time. And over the last couple of, let's say, 8 months, I decided to dive deeper into something I'd like. Let's say gold, silver, psychedelics. I'm watching more tech, things I like just to enjoy. For example, I also bought some stocks of Coinbase, which is going down, but to be honest, I really don't mind. I like to be in the market and get to know more about this subject. And when I have skin in the game, I'm really urging to know more. So you must watch this interview. It's a great interview, and Daniela Gambon did an amazing job. I would like to start with this tweet, and I saw that there were some other people tweeting about the retraces we have had in 2021. But this doesn't make much sense. We want to know what happened in the past cycles as well, because as you know, Bitcoin is having a similar cycles that are familiar to each other. And how do I say this, normal. If you take a look at the stock to flow model, then you know that there is a halving each let's say 4 years. And within this 4 years, the price makes completely the same, almost the same move every 4 years. We see those cycles over and over again. We have seen this before. And in the last cycle, if we take a look at 2017, we had 5 to 7 major pullbacks. And those pullbacks were ranged between the 30 and 40%. So there was a retrace of at least 30 and maybe even 40%. And right now, we're not seeing this. And Max Keiser spoke about this before, even like a couple of months ago already. And he said we're probably going to see higher lows. And we're really seeing this right now, because if we take a look at January, February, March, and April, and we take a look at those retraces, so we see that the price went down. The retrace took about 19 days, but it went down 31%. After that, we saw a 26% retrace in 7 days, an 18% retrace in 12 days, and a 21% in 9 days until today. And maybe it's gonna last a little bit longer. Maybe it's gonna last 10 days longer. It can happen, of course. Maybe it's going down even further, but we haven't seen the 40% retrace yet. So this means that there are a lot of people hodling, and that, yeah, of course, there is a little bit of bubble forming in Bitcoin, because I've been asked a lot of times by old friends about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies again. They mostly spoke about altcoins, of course, and how they can make it 10x or something like that. But those people are in there for the money. And we as Bitcoiners are in here for the revolution. We want to own Bitcoin and keep Bitcoin. For example, Elon Musk did this. He says, I want to sell Teslas, and all the Bitcoin I get, I will keep them. And that's the big difference, because then we're really in this revolution. People don't want to own their own currency anymore. We spoke about this last week when we talked about Turkey banning cryptocurrency payments. They don't want to have an economy next to their own economy, because people say, I don't want your lira anymore, because purchasing power of the lira went down by 16%. So people don't want to have the lira. They say, sure, just give me Bitcoin. We will pay in Bitcoin, and then you get a different ecosystem. And that's what we're seeing right now as well on the regular market, even though the dollar is still doing okay. The purchasing power isn't like increasing a lot, decreasing a lot. But we will talk about this a little bit later, because there is some tension going on. But I must say, right now, we haven't seen the major pullbacks yet. So this might also mean that if there will be, and there probably will be, a new decline, which we saw in the beginning of 2018, I think it was the 16th of December or the 6th of December 2017. And after that, the price went down, of course, for like 1 year, maybe 1.5. And after that, the cycle went down really slowly. It went upwards again. We're probably going to see this again. We will see a retrace, but maybe we won't see a retrace of 80%. Maybe we won't even see a retrace of 17%. There are probably going to be a lot more hodlers than we have had in the cycle of 2017, where the retail was involved. Now we see that there are big institutions involved, and this is quite different. I know people say, you can say this time is different, because it's not. I think, in my honest opinion, this time it is different. And of course, we see some bubble formation because there are a lot of retailers involved. But it's really, really important to keep an eye on what's going on. We also had this Turkish crypto exchange going offline, and the CEO is missing. So last Wednesday, the 21th of April, we saw that there was an exchange called Todax, which went online after an error. And they said it would take up to 4 to 5 business days. But the strange thing is that on the day before, the 20th, we saw the CEO leaving the country. And this is quite a big thing, because after the new regulations of cryptocurrency payments, this happened right after, like 4 or 5 days after. It's quite strange, and it smells a bit like fraud. There have been some, I don't know where it is right now, but we have seen that a lot of people are complaining about what's going on, and ask their lawyer to go to the Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor Office to order an investigation for fraud. and establishing a criminal organization against the CEO who's left the country. He's still missing, and there was a lot of crypto on the exchange. I don't know the exact amount that was on it, but at least there were like 400,000 users on the exchange, and there was a lot of volume as well. Here we see it. It was trading more than 500, sorry, I have dyslexia, so this is quite hard for me. 585 million in cryptocurrencies on its exchange. And I'm laughing, but this is, of course, this is not fun. Those people who want to flee the inflation in their own country, they want to have Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is trading at all-time highs, even higher than we see here in America or in the Netherlands or in Europe or whatever. It was trading way higher, and those people want to flee the country with their money. They want to remain their purchasing power, which was really hard for them to do so. And now they've lost their money, or probably lost their money. We're not sure yet because CEO is still missing, but I can't imagine why you as a normal citizen would do something like this. I mean, how in the world can you as a CEO of such a big company with so many users leave the country and get away with people's money? I don't know how you could do this. Maybe there is something wrong with the exchange, or maybe there is new regulation upcoming and they just want to flee the country. But still, you can still flee to another tax haven or something like that. But they didn't. He just left the country, and also his staff members also got this company rid of their CV, so of LinkedIn, and they just don't want to be with this company anymore. So this is not looking good. We also had another UK bank service anti-crypto notice to their customers, and we have seen this quite a lot. We saw this in 2013, in 2017 again, and now again. UK commercial bank NatWest says it does not want to do business with clients and customers who deal in crypto. Corporate clients of NatWest may lose their banking relationship with United Kingdom-based lender amidst recent negative currency-related policy statements. And they say we have no appetite for dealing with customers, whether taking them on as a new client or having an ongoing relationship with people whose main business is backed by an exchange of currencies, for otherwise transacting in cryptocurrencies as their main activity. So this is mostly about the companies that are involved in crypto as well. These are big companies. Look at Coinbase. Look at the one we talked about with the Turkish one. These are big companies, and they have a lot of revenue because there's traded a lot of volume. And the thing is, I think, in my honest opinion, that banks are scared. I had a talk with a friend last week, and he is starting a new mining farm. He had a mining farm already, and he's starting a new mining farm in the Netherlands, and they just can't get a bank account. And we've heard this over the last couple of 2 years quite a lot, and most of the times they gave bank accounts to the people who were involved in blockchain, but crypto was really scared. But to be honest, I don't know why you can't give someone running a mining farm a bank account. It's completely strange. And yeah, we spoke about this, and we came to the conclusion that they probably might be scared. We also saw that the Bitcoin dominance is about to drop below 50% for the first time in 3 years. And BTC has revisited its lows, of course. We're going to talk about this at the end of the video. And we're now seeing that traders are moving to a lot of altcoins. We also see them going to ETH. Ether is quite promising if we must believe the traders. And take a look at Bitcoin to ETH value, then ETH still has some room to go up. But we're seeing that the market cap here, you can see it over here. Have a look. zoom in a bit, we will see over here that the market cap is going down, and especially the white line is the others, the other cryptos. So we see the other cryptos going upward when Bitcoin is going downward. And this is really important because those people are in here because they want to earn a 10x. They're not in here for the future. They're not in here for the revolution. It's a completely different thing. And they probably bought Bitcoin and they sold it again to get more shitcoins and earn a 10x. But that's not how it works. And I will give you an example of this one. I have been asked so many times about SafeMoon in the last couple of weeks. In the last couple of days, I think. I don't even know how long SafeMoon exists. It exists since the 11th of March and it's now the 22nd. So it's not even here for weeks. And I've been asked about this a lot of times. What is going on with SafeMoon? And to be honest, in my opinion, it's a pyramid scheme. It smells like it. It looks like it. It must be a pyramid scheme. And I will show you an article of The Sun. And The Sun has looked deeper into this SafeMoon project. And to be honest, if you go to the website of SafeMoon and take a look at what's going on, you will see that they want you to hodl their coin. They want you to hold their coin, and so you can go to the moon safely. That's what they say, at least. Their coin is all based on FUD to go to the moon. So if you take a look at the website, you will see that this coin is all about going to the moon. It has non-fundamental basis. It smells like a scam. I can't say it's a scam, of course, but to be honest, it's a multi-level marketing pyramid. And why is that true? SafeMoon claims it will reward people who buy and hold onto the cryptocurrency. Well, those who sell the currency will be slapped by a penalty. If you sell your currency, you will lose 10% immediately. Remember, getting to the moon takes time, and the longer you hold, the more coins you pick up. But where is that money coming from? So if you will get rewarded when you hold your SafeMoon, where is the money coming from? So the money must come from the new inflows. So there must be more people to flow into the market with new money. And this is known as a multi-level marketing scheme or a pyramid scheme. And this looks quite a bit like, you probably heard about BitConnect or OneCoin. These are mostly coins that are looking like this. It's this structure. So to be honest, I spoke about this more often. I spoke about this last week as well. If there is a rat running over your keyboard right now and it will buy random coins when the prices are going up, it doesn't matter at all if there is fundamental value. The rat that's running over your keyboard will buy randomly and you will earn money. That's what it's about. But to me, it's about the fundamentals. As a Bitcoin maximalist, or even as am I a Bitcoin maximalist? No, I'm not really Bitcoin maximalist. I'm in here for the revolution of money, the revolution of value, and keeping your purchasing value. And we have some altcoin projects that can be really interesting because they are disrupting other things. That is really important. But having a coin that's called SafeMoon to go safe to the moon is completely ridiculous. Okay, and now I'm going to stop talking about this because this is enough. By the way, talking about things that are completely ridiculous, we have had Jay Powell speaking again on the 20th of 2021, April. April. And he said that the US economy is going to temporarily see a little higher inflation this year. And I talked about this with you last week as well, the week before. Inflation is shooting up rapidly. And he said we're going to overshoot the inflation for the missing inflation we've had over the last couple of, let's say, 4 or 5 years, maybe even. But now he's saying we do not seek inflation that substantially exceeds the 2%. nor do we seek inflation above 2% for a prolonged period. So he says, we're not going to overshoot the inflation, and people are scared of that he wants to overshoot it, because then it can get out of control. Those modifiers substantially exceed the 2% inflation or above that level a prolonged period to help sharply define the upper bounds of the Fed's comfort zone as the price rises. And he also said, I would empathize, though, that we are fully committed to both legs of our dual mandate, maximum employment and stable prices. And what they're doing actually is some form of modern monetary theory. And you probably heard about this. It's simply inflating all of the money. It's simply printing money as much as you can until you reach maximum employment. That's what MMT is all about. It's a really, it's called modern monetary theory, and it sounds modern, but it's a really old theory, and we don't know if this is going to end well. We've seen it in Japan, by the way, but as Willem Middelkoop always says, people in Japan are not crying on the street. It's still okay, but it's not the best situation to be in. But okay, he said we will not overshoot. Also, the interest rates are not going up again. Yeah, and if we take a look at what's really going on, then you are beginning to doubt what Jerome Powell just said. He says we're not going to overshoot the actual inflation. We're just going to maybe go to 2%, but we won't overshoot it for a long time. And I think the situation is already out of control. Global food inflation is accelerating. Take a look at what happened from the end of 2020 until now in 2021, April. As you can see, we have had such a high rise in the Bloomberg Agriculture Spot Index. This is insane. And we also saw this tweet of Charlie Bellio, and he says commodity prices over the last couple of years have reached new highs. Take a look at lumber. What's going on with lumber and the WTI crude, Brent oil, Brent crude, gasoline, copper, corn, silver. It's all going up, and that's for a reason. And we know what's happening when the raw materials like corn or soybeans or silver or whatever that have been used by creating new products that are used when you build a fridge or something like that. When the prices of these raw materials increase, the end product prices increase as well. So we're gonna probably see a new price increase of the products. And what does this mean? Your purchasing power will go down. And Stockcats replied on his tweet, and he said, good thing is that none of this is found its way to the CPI. But to be honest, and I spoke about this last week, the CPI is not what it was. The CPI is completely, it's nuts. The basket is not as we want to see the basket. So the CPI is manipulated, in my opinion. These are the real figures, and the CPI says nothing anymore. And Jerome Powell probably knows it. We're going to take a look at the chart of gold again, because we looked at this last week. And I already spoke about this. We're bottoming out right here, and we only have to shoot out of this downward trend. And if we do so, we're going to probably backtest it and then shoot out more, because the investors in gold know what's going on in the market. And especially when inflation hit, when we see copper rising in price, we will see that their investors are getting more anxious and the prices are going up even more. So we saw a decrease after the incline over here. After this incline, we saw a decrease again, and here we see one more that's a bit more big than the last one. And now, just like we spoke about this, the price went up and we're testing this level. We can still, to be honest, the volume is quite low, but because we can still see that the price will go down back within this downtrend, because we saw it here as well. When The volume was quite low as well. We didn't saw volume going up for days. We want to see a higher volume than average. For example, here we saw a higher volume for a couple of days, maybe even for a week and a half. So we want to see that for gold again as well. We're quite around the medium. But we want to see the volume to confirm the trend. And if the trend is upward, we want to see that the volume is going upward as well. We also saw Jeroen Blokland tweeting about silver and its rally this month. Silver is going up also. We see a lot of commodities going up. I spoke about this earlier, and this is because what's going on in the underlying market. Bitcoin is still down a bit, but we will probably see that the price is going up again. And it will take probably 10 more days, maybe even 5, and then we will see that the price will hit new highs because of the underlying economy and about what's going on right now. It's completely nuts, and we're just printing and printing and printing a lot of money. I've had an interesting, I think I'm having it on my phone, by the way. Maybe I should show it to you. I have an interesting chart. Yeah, so here you see it. I don't know if you can see it really easy, but yeah. It says the 6th trillion in 7 months. Will the 7th trillion come even faster? So on this chart, you see how many years it took for 1 trillion to come into the market. And the first time we saw 1 trillion in the market, it took 80 years. The second time it took 19 years. The third time it took 4 years, then 5 years, and then 4 months, and last time it took 7 months. So to give you an example, if you use money to stimulate the economy, you will get the same effect when you use alcohol or drugs. When you use drugs, every month the effect will go down. You will need more drugs for the same effect. And that's completely the same what we see in the economy right now. So before we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart, I want to show you something, and that's the tax plan of Biden versus the tax plan of Trump. Trump did a great job when talking about taxes, but Biden wants to increase all of the taxes. So corporate tax, income tax, small business tax, and capital gains. So we saw the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial, declining a bit today because of this plan. It's still a plan though, but the most important thing about this is that Biden wants to increase the capital gain, so the money you have to pay when you do an investment or buy a house, and when you sell the investment or sell the house, you will have a return, and on that return you had to pay 23.8% under Trump, but under Biden you will have to pay 43.4%. But it's still a plan, but it's not good news for the American citizens. And that's probably also why the price of Bitcoin went down, because it has the same effects. And we almost reached the target point right now. We reached it on the 20th, the 22nd. It was yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was early in the morning for us here in Mexico. We saw this happening before. We see it happening again, and we almost hit the target point. And usually on, let's say, 75%, you will buy back, and that's what happened twice already. So right now we're probably a bit down. So that's not quite a good thing. If we take a look at this, we will see that we're in a downward trend. The trend is going down. And to be honest, this is not a great view to look at. On the RSI, I don't see anything which I must say, yeah, we're probably going up. I don't see any bullish divergence. We saw bullish divergence over here when the RSI bottoms went up, but the bottoms on the chart went down. But to be honest, watching on the 1 hour is way too close to make a good overview of what's going on. So we're going back to Bitstamp. So yeah, we will take a look at the chart right now. And what we see on this chart are 3 times a new high. And when after hitting the new all-time high, we went down, we saw it over here, we went down, we went down, we went down again, and now we went down another time. So it's nothing special to go down again after new all-time high. Usually we will go down after, even lower than the last all-time high, so we see this again. But we probably don't want to go lower than this point, which is 50.4. I will draw a horizontal trend line below this part. So we must stay above this point because this is a really important support line as well. And also if we take a look at the fractals, it might be good as we form a bottom here. But to form a bottom, we really want to see some bullish divergence, and I don't see any bullish divergence on the chart right now. I'm sorry if you hear any background noises, but people are hammering with hammers on I don't know what. But yeah, I must say that it's quite hard to say something about what's going on right now. So when doing technical analysis, it's not about having a bowl of glass and looking into it and say, okay, we're going up, probably. No, it's not like that. You must see technical analysis not as a typical science. It's not a typical science. It's a way to use probability recognition to say we can probably go in this way. Because the last 300 times we have seen this, we broke out upward or we broke out downward, and it's all about emotions, and markets are stupid, so they will make the same mistakes. And we will see this in the chart patterns, for example, but we can also use Bollinger Bands, or maybe even the MACD or the RSI. I'd like to use the RSI. I like to use the bullish divergence. For example, we see it over here, and this will be your first entry, and this will be your second entry, and we saw it here as well. We see the bottoms on the RSI going upward, even though the chart bottoms are going downward. So this was the perfect moment to buy again, and here we saw the bearish one, so we sold here again. So that's how you can use an RSI, for example. And if you combine it with a chart pattern, you can say, for example, here we have this chart pattern. It's called a rising wedge. And in 63% of the times that this pattern evolved on other charts or the Bitcoin chart or maybe even on an index or something like that, you can say on 63% it went downward and we saw a decline of at least blah, blah, blah. So you will have a handle to hold on, and it's not a typical science. Still, you can have calculate a bit what can happen, but of course you need to use your stop loss. You need to make sure that you only trade when there is something evolved on the chart, and right now we don't see anything yet. We only know that if we break out down this trend and we close the body of the candle below this yellow line, then we will probably see new lows, but right now we won't see this. By the way, if you think, yeah, Maddie, I know what you're telling about, I know what you're talking about, I've been trading for years or something like that. I've been into the crypto market since 2013 and trading it, and yeah, it's just my passion. I know it's not a real good combination with being a Bitcoin maximalist, but still, I love to look at charts. You can wake me up in the middle of the night for a nice chart. And if you're like, yeah, I really want to do this as well, just take a look at the link down below or the links down below. I'd like these exchanges the best for trading, especially for me. And if you want to support this channel, you can use one of the following links. So that will be great. Right now, I would like to end this video. And I would suggest to take a look at my Instagram channel because you will see more about what's going on here in Mexico. I live in Mexico right now, and it's been great living here. So if you want to know more about that or more about the market, I will update you more about the market. You can also, by the way, follow me on Twitter, on which I update really regularly. And on Instagram, I do the same. But on Twitter, it's really more into depth. So if you like that more, you can also take a look at Twitter. And right now, I would like to thank you for this video. I feel like it's flowing a bit easier right now, but my English is still not the best. I have been trying. I'm trying still. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to put your thumbs up, to press the blue thumb and to subscribe to this channel. I would really love to invite you all to subscribe to the channel. So thanks so much and see you next week. Bye bye.